Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. This week we have an interesting topic. I think most people nowadays are on social media. What's it mean if you're a hunter and angler? Can you be on there? Can you post stuff? Where do you fit in? Is there an algorithm that's going to block your stuff or your friends? It's really hard to keep up with things. What platform should you use? What's important? Why do we use social media? You know, it used to be we used to pick up a magazine or watch TV shows, but it seems like social media has really changed the way people look for, find, and digest their information. So I've got an old friend of mine in here today, Mr. Darryl Dahl, and I consider him the guru of social media. When I'm looking for advice or have friends that have businesses, companies, and stuff that are looking for a leg up, we usually give Darryl a call. So we figured, why not have him in, have a discussion, and find out what advice he has for people that use social media and want to continue doing so as hunters and anglers. Welcome, Darryl.
Hello. How you doing today, Brad?
Not too bad.
Thanks.
Give us a little bit about your background. How did you get into this in the first place? How did you dive into it so deep that you have that extra understanding that most of us don't?
Well, I've done digital marketing basically once it started, and regular marketing for about 16 years. And, and those different things as they grew got bigger and bigger as we went. And myself, I was working for a different company and I was helping other people market themselves in some forms of drift car drivers. And after helping those guys quite a bit, I can kind of see where their sponsorships are going and see how they could grow themselves. And watching my own digital marketing stuff, I'm like, well, why don't I digitally market myself to try to help people out there in the hunting and fishing industry? So this way I could, help people grow, help myself grow, and, make a difference out there, try to help people.
Yeah. And still be in the hunting and fishing community. Keep it close to the heart.
Yep. Yeah. I always try to get out and enjoy the outdoors and have a fun time and harvest animals to be able to fill the freezer.
Yeah.
And keep food on the table. And, whether it be hunting or fishing, I'm into it and it's all kinds of fun. So I'm here.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you're like me, probably the majority of your friends and family and all the rest of it, the ones you do things with are hunters and anglers because that's what we have in common. So you think about your weekends, who you spend them with, or when you're planning during the week, it usually ties back to hunting and fishing. And social media is unique because I've got a bunch of old friends from my past that I keep track of and I wouldn't have known any other way what they're doing other than Facebook, Instagram, and different things where I get to see on a daily basis that they're still out there and doing things. So social media does play a role that way, but there's lots of other ways to use it. And I think one of the biggest questions is what platform is important? Do we have one? Do we have two? Is it all right to have three? What's next?
Yeah. I think it's a matter of multiple platforms based on what you're doing. Back in the day, people used to, find the latest intel from the latest magazine or the odd fishing show on the weekend.
Right.
And, a phone call to somebody, that was the way you communicated, where nowadays, you could message somebody that you could never think you could have messaged before. And, you could say hello to Atalo Bigman. Yeah. He could say, hey, how you doing? And suddenly you're talking with somebody that you watched on a zillion fishing shows when you were a kid. Yeah. And it's an amazing thing. And these people understand now that as the older hunters and fishermen get older, you got to kind of adapt these platforms to stay ahead of the game and to stay current in order to reach audiences. Because the days of people subscribing to like channels and things like that is kind of getting lower and lower. And sure, there's YouTube and stuff like that, but lots of older people are still staying away from like YouTube, although it's a great platform. But I think you have to have a mixture of different apps in order to have one that you stand out on. And if you combine a couple of different ones together, and have different things on each platform, you can really create a big audience based on the platform.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I've kind of drawn my line just because of the time constraints dealing with social media, because it can eat up your day pretty quick. But I find I have very different audiences. A lot of family and older people on Facebook that follow me, and Instagram I get lots of new followers and younger people, and it's very much a different crowd.
Yep. Yeah. Between the two, you'll see. Really, Facebook is a bit easier to use, and people are used to using it on desktop on a computer. So the little bit older people that's more prone to them, right? Where Instagram is more mobile based, people with their smartphone,
right?
In which, any 12-year-old kid with a smartphone can blow away any 70-year-old guy on his smartphone speed wise, and be able to post stuff and adapt stuff and edit photos and add, text and different filters to pictures to make them amazing.
Right.
Older people aren't really into that stuff. They're just like, no, it is what it is.
That's my picture.
That's my picture. It's fine. I don't need to edit it. It's good.
Take it or leave it. Here's an important point. I mean, there's lots of platforms, and you should pick one or two or three or all of them that you like to do. But how important is it to be consistent with them? Is that where the gravy is for your meal, is by having regular content?
Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to promote or how you're trying to lay yourself out, right? You kind of got to make a decision on how you want to do it. Do you want to be somebody who just posts pictures, or do you want to be an informative person, or do you want to share recipes, or do you want to teach people, or do you just want to learn stuff, right? So there's different ways of laying out your platforms in order to find out your niche kind of thing. Once you got that laid down, though, you kind of got to stay on that track, because people follow you based on what they like.
Right. And
if you suddenly go off track and you're doing all your posts about hunting certain animals and stuff, and then suddenly you change it over to, the latest Nike shoes that are the coolest, and people kind of go, wait a second.
They catch on pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't follow this guy to see that. Or if you suddenly go political and start posting a bunch of political stuff that people don't agree with, they're like, yeah, okay, I'm not following this guy anymore. Or if you're posting too much stuff that's too sales wise,
right?
Sure. Help promote companies, of course. It's great to promote Canadian companies. It's great to promote your sponsors or people out there that support you, but you don't want to be too spammy, we'll call it, where, every second post is about some other company, and you don't want to push it that much.
Yeah, I think our audiences within Harvest Your Own, there's kind of two different styles of social media people. One is people that are trying to get into hunting and learn more, and there's people that are hunters and want to share their experiences and successes and failures that happen in the field. And then there's also another segment that use social media to, they're creating a brand to identify with. And you talked about that in terms of, you build things up in terms of what people are following you for. You got to be consistent and continue to deliver that type of message for people to stick with you. So, it can be diverse. You don't have to dive in with both feet. People can have a social media platform and be just background watchers too. I know lots of my friends that you go on their pages and you look and it's like, man, you've never posted. Mm-hmm. No, I just like scrolling through. So there's different ways to use it. Yeah,
some people will have just their I'll call it a spectator account. The spectator account is, hey, they just want to have an account. They don't want to post stuff. They don't want to do anything with but they like flipping through the platform and looking at different things and sharing stuff with their family maybe, and that's about it, which is nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Your own platform, you kind of, stay on track with how you laid it out and keep it rolling on the same, I guess, same straight road as before. Yeah. So if you're into cooking, keep on cooking, keep, sharing that stuff. It's good.
Well, mine is multifaceted. I can't say that I do one thing. I do everything from waterfowl and upland, big game, bow hunting, muzzleloaders, recipes, but it's all tied back to the great outdoors. So it is one thing in common. And, I think that helps me build a bigger audience as well.
Yeah. So I think Harvest Your Own is great because, people that are new into hunting and they want to learn, Brad Weiss, that's a great way to get into things and learn how to do stuff, because there's not enough learning out there. There's lots of people showing things they're doing and, they're doing all this stuff, but there's no one really explaining, okay, this is how to load the muzzle loader. This
Right.
is how to knock an arrow. This is like, there's lots of like scenes and stuff where, I remember watching old hunting videos and pausing it and rewinding it and pausing it and rewinding it just to see, well, what did that guy do right there to make that elk come over the hill? Like, I didn't see that. And then they never showed it. Then they never talked about it.
Yeah.
And then they get the animal down and then they don't show what they do after. Well, what happens now? Does like a dump truck show up and they take it away for you, or what happens? So Harvest Your Own is a great platform to follow because you can learn all about the cooking, about the adventure, and then about how to properly do stuff.
Right.
So we need more options like this, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a unique brand for sure. Mm-hmm. There's certain people out there though that are creating their own brand, so to speak. You see it. Yep. What's important to create your own brand, and is it important to use your own name on social media, or can you have a different handle?
Yeah, you got to kind of, if you're creating a page, you got to come up with what your page is going to be about, besides having a weird page name. Because if you have, Bob Johnson 66548 #*, like no one's going to find you.
Right.
It's going to be hard for them. You want to have a catchy name of something that is to do with what your niche is, maybe. Or at least you want to have those items into your biography of your social media on Facebook or Instagram that actually has those keywords in it, in your biography of what you are and what you're about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you can edit that as things change.
Yep.
You might be into hunting birds, and all of a sudden you take up deer hunting or expand your fishing horizons. You can certainly go in and change your bio and information for people to help find you.
Yep. Yeah. Like recently I got a couple different Instagrams and I use them to test different things out. I'll try different bios and different things on the different Instagrams to figure out which one is good, which one's bad.
Yep.
And like since the latest big hit against hunters and anglers in the last couple months with Meta platform, you got to watch what you say now. You can't
absolutely.
The platform's got an AI algorithm that watches the keywords and watches your posts, and it's guns are bad and dead stuff is bad, and gutting a fish on video is not something they want to show, and it's really biased. But you can't control them.
Right.
They're all from California.
Well, it's hard, right? Because they'll show a street fight with people getting totally beaten up, and it should not be public content.
Yep.
Yet you can't clean a fish.
Yep. Yeah. Like on my Instagram, Darryl hunts west. So it just kind of says, okay, this guy Darryl, he hunts out west. Okay, that's what I do. But I changed some of my stuff in my content. It says big game catcher. People always ask hunters, hey, did you catch anything this weekend?
Right.
And that's kind of a funny term. And instead of saying big game hunter, I put big game catcher and fish catcher, right?
Yep.
I did it like that to change it, to see if the algorithm will leave me alone a bit more, to try to change my following and give me more followers or more reach, right? So I changed it on Facebook, and in the last week, I probably gained another 1,800 reach for the month, because I watched that insights and stuff on it to see. And then I seen as soon as I started changing the words, it changed. And then I started in my feature photos, started changing those to less grip and grin hunting, fishing pictures to more outdoor adventure pictures.
Okay.
I changed that stuff because I'm testing it, because they just changed their algorithm, and it's, it really took hunters and fishermen, and it hit hard. And people that had reach of 300,000 people in a month suddenly have 40.
Right, because they basically shut down their posts from sharing to anywhere. It was just going out to friends.
Well, it took us off. It took the hunting industry and fishing people off the not recommended list, basically. Yeah. It no longer recommends trapping, hunting, fishing, anything to do with that kind of stuff. And people are losing all kinds of followers. And you think if somebody only had 1,800 followers and you lost 50% overnight, you're like, oh, geez. Now, it's not everything to have lots of followers. It really doesn't matter. People can still look at your page and not follow you.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
The last purge was the other day. Instagram actually cleared off a bunch of bots that were following people.
Oh, wow.
So you notice your Instagram dropped by like mine dropped by like 300 followers because it got rid of the bots that were following a person, which is good because you want them to do that.
Yeah.
So it will go up and down as they change stuff, which is good and bad, but you want to change your social media so it's a little bit less graphic. And us as hunters, we got to make things nicer, basically. You don't want to post your picture of you riding your deer with the tongue hanging out and blood all over.
Yeah.
And,
You shouldn't anyways. Yeah.
You shouldn't. No, you want to honor that animal and treat it proper. When I shot a whitetail buck a couple of years ago, I remember Brad telling me that, he has Windex in the vehicle to wipe the blood off that deer and paper towels to clean it up if it has blood. Yep. And I did that on a pipeline in northern Alberta. I spent like a half an hour cleaning the deer up. And normally if I get a deer or elk or something, first thing I do is I take the tongue out.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't hang out in the photos.
Yep.
I take it out and then go from there. And I cleaned anything around the mouth and, lay the animal on its side where you can't see the bullet hole or the wound or whatever, and prop it up nicely and take good photos. I would put my cooler from my truck and put it out 6 feet away, and I'd prop my phone up on 7 different devices to be able to take a selfie picture, and I'd put my timer on my phone and run back and jump behind the deer.
Yep.
Now with the iWatch, you can actually use the watch to control the shutter on the camera, which is cool. It's a little bit more helpful, but I have tons of animal selfies I took by myself. But taking the time to take care of that photo for the animal just makes us hunters look better, and everyone out there should strive to be better in that way.
Right. I think it shows respect to the animals and to our audience and to ourselves for what we're doing. So whether it's an animal or a fish, you want to handle it properly if it's a fish before you put it back in the water, or show the release rather than the grip and grin.
Oh, yeah.
It's still all right to show the grip and grin, I think. It's part of the reason some of us got onto social media and want to have our friends follow us is to show them what we're doing. And, life can often be a bit of a competition. So
yeah, of course.
It's nice to show things that are going well in your life and positive. But that's the thing about social media is always try to keep it positive.
Yep. Yeah. There's lots of people that spill their guts about, their woes of their life, but they really shouldn't keep it public because, at any time anybody can screenshot that and hold that against you in the future.
Right.
So you can really say some bad stuff and have it fall down on you in the future for job interviews, or if you want to go do something else with a company, they might find that little bit of snippet of you and go, uh-oh. Yeah.
I remember being at a conference one time and a fellow was giving a presentation on social media, and he said, never post if you've been drinking, never post if you're down in the dumps or it's late at night and your mind's working overtime on things that you need a good sleep for. So, he had a bunch of them, a list, and they were all along the same lines. I think that's pretty good advice to heed no matter what you're doing. But we have lots of advantages nowadays too. You can actually use AI to help you write your post.
Yeah, it actually gives you the option of that. So if you're not a very good writer, you can either use a separate AI platform to put your text into that platform and say, write me a social media post of 117 letters or whatever you want to have it as, and it will help write it for you.
Right.
So unfortunately, that will affect the outdoor writing industry and the outdoor graphic industry with artificial intelligence as it grows and grows. But there's so much stuff out there that people can see that it's fake,
right?
For the images. But the writing, hey, if it helps somebody improve their grammar and their writing skills,
okay. Have the spelling correct and good stuff. And you don't have AI write your entire post.
No.
Give them the key words and what your message is going to be. It's like you can say, please rewrite this in a way to post it on Facebook. So you want to keep the right words out of it and stuff, and say, I was hunting whitetail deer in northern Alberta, harvested a nice buck. I was with my friends, it was snowing hard, but we enjoyed the outing even though the weather was tough. Write that and say, rework that. And it'll rework it into a short, concise, grammatically correct, spelling correct post that you can use right away.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're not sure on how to word things, of course, it's a great way for it to edit it. So then, you want to get rid of those, talking about kill shots and the derogatory terms of, I blasted it and this morning kill, and those kind of words are all words that the algorithm's looking for to block you. Well, not block you, but lower your reach because of you're using those words. So if you can really tune it down to, using more creative terms, ethical harvest and
Yeah.
You know, and I'm out filling the freezer and having an adventure and teaching my family and doing this. That's what we got to strive for, is having better wording in all our stuff, because, you know, it's almost like the principal's watching.
I don't think it takes away from your post unless all your buddies and you are rednecks and you just want to try to make it as rough as possible.
Yeah, there's guys, like, there's some guys that they just don't care.
Right, you can tell that.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, no problem, of course. But anyone that's trying to build up their social media to have lots of followers, or if anyone that has, you know, some companies or people that sponsor them that, you know, want this person to help support their brand, you got to watch what you say.
Yep.
And keep your lip zippered a few times.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed a lot of my crowd on Facebook now, instead of saying firearm, gun, rifle, shotgun, whatever, they're all calling them pew pew. I got a new pew pew today, and it sort of slides in under the wire. Is that part of what the algorithm is looking for?
Yeah, it's some of those key words, right? Because the regular keywords, gun, rifle, shotgun, those are all 100% being watched, right? And, you know, those, you know, so people are saying creative terms, right? Guys are, you know, showing, you know, gun mounts for a vehicle, and they have a broomstick with a scope mounted to it. And they're showing, this new gun mount, but it's for your pew-pew, and it mounts in the back of your seat, and it's easily accessible, but they're not actually showing a firearm on the...
Yeah. And I think
a way to get around the AI.
Right. I think playing the game actually helps people too, because it stands out to me now when someone says, I got a new pew-pew, or, you know, here's something for whatever the gun term is, you stop and read it.
Yep.
You know, you take a second look to try to figure out what's going on. So on that line, you know, you got the wording, you got AI, you got good pictures, you strive to have better content. What makes a great post, Darryl? You know, it's what are the key ingredients of a strong hunting or fishing post? And is it important to have captions?
Well, what you're mentioning is explaining your image usually.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, Facebook, you don't have to put an image. You can just have the text.
Right. And
if you want to, if your people that follow you on Facebook, you know, are attentive and they will actually read what you're putting, you know, you don't want to put 17 paragraphs of, you know, because people read the first one and then they're gone. But if you're trying to grow followers, you want to keep it simple and short and to the point right at the start.
Concise.
Yeah, you want to kind of fishhook them into listening or reading, sorry. Where on social media, on like Instagram, you know, you're usually explaining your picture and your photo and what's going on. And you want to be able to explain that so people can understand it. But then you also want your post should have keywords to help grow the reach of that photo. But, of course, be creative with your keywords, because you want it to grow without the bad stuff.
Without the algorithm seeing what you're posting.
Yeah, so it's something we all kind of got to learn, but then that's something that you can use AI back against it, and you can ask an AI program like Cloud or ChatGPT and say, I'm thinking of posting this. Do you think it has any derogatory message before I post it? And what do you suggest in as a different
concise message?
Yeah, as a different message. And it might come up with, oh, you shouldn't put this, you should put this, change it to this, and then copy there, paste it. But don't use that as your entire message. Like it's better to add your own pizzazz to it at the start and at the finish. Maybe have that for the middle. So
pizzazz is always good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, good posts, your friends, family, and everyone that follows you, how important is it that they like your image? Or if you post 6 of them, that they go in and like all 6 images?
Well, it only takes a second to like someone's picture.
Yeah.
You know, you look at some big celebrities out there. Yeah. And they don't always have time to like your picture, but they have staff that are paid to like people's posts. Right. And they go, my God, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson liked my post. and that just blows a person away, and then they're happy for 5 days. So if somebody like that can make somebody happy by, a like, then that's good.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people do, some people don't. I like the picture all the time because, you know, that's something I enjoy seeing. So
yeah. I've picked that up from a few friends because, you know, you're one of them that goes through and looks at every one of my photos and likes them. Like if I post 8 photos, you'll like all of them. And I have other people that do that. And it sent me a message like, I know that they're engaged in my post. I know that they looked at everything and they were interested. So I started doing the same because I would like the main post and I never really did much with the other photos. But those little bits of information are important to each user.
Yeah, like you never know picture number 5 shows you something that you've never seen before.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, I didn't know Brad does that way, and that's something I never knew, so that's cool. I'm glad I looked, because some people will see there's multi-pictures, they won't even look at all the pictures, they'll look at the main picture.
Right.
And if the main picture is kind of boring, a picture of a boot and nothing really thrilling, so your main picture has got to be like your snapshot to the whole photo layout. Right. You want to put something cool at the start so people get into it and engage with it, and then get in, and if they like all your photos, that's great. Is
it important to caption them, all your photos?
I think so, because the more you put in keywords into your photos, the more the algorithm of the social media will feed people to come look at your topics and your platform, because they'll see that first you put in the effort to do it. Second of all, the fact that you're actually putting in relevant content to what you're posting, so they can actually see that you're doing it right and you're doing it. And that's what they watch, and their AI algorithm watches. So if you're doing it right like that, it's good.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a caption, then you're like, some people are like, well, what's that picture all about? I don't understand. It's a picture of something leaning against a tree, but I don't know what it is. Like, people are always curious.
Right.
And especially someone who's like, if you look at a new hunter following someone like yourself, they may not know what that device is that you suddenly have sitting there. Like, what is that? Oh, that's a folding, trekking pole that folds into a shooting stick. Oh, cool. Oh, right. I didn't know that was available. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't take anything for granted. Put the words down. It's worth the extra effort.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information to gain insight and knowledge. Head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
Let's talk about Harvest Your Own. Somebody goes out, they harvest their first deer. You could tag Harvest Your Own. You could put a hashtag Harvest Your Own, but why would people do that? Why do you tag people and use hashtags, and is it important as well?
Well, you want to, if you want somebody's attention, you can tag them. When you tag them, it gives them an indication that somebody has tagged you in this photo, right?
Yep.
So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because a group can tag you at followers, and then every time they post something, it's annoying, and it gives you a notification each time. But you can go in and you can shut off your notifications. So if you're joining any new groups, go in and limit your notifications, because you can set that in the settings.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't, then you might get a whole bunch. But if it's somebody that, some new hunters out there, and he or she harvests their first deer and they tag Harvest Your Own, then, hey, Harvest Your Own can see that and go, oh, wow, that's cool. And look, they took a great photo, message the person, hey, do you mind if we share this? And they're like, oh, wow, they want to share my picture. So it helps grow yourself and let people out there know that you're following a platform that knows what they're doing. And you can either do that by hashtagging the photo or putting an @ symbol and the name of the actual account to be able to do that. But it's a good thing.
And if you hashtagged whitetail deer, for instance, or hunting or Alberta, does that help draw a certain crowd, or does it get you more attention?
Yeah. Like if you're always posting about, for example, Alberta, and all your posts, you put in a hashtag for Alberta, anyone searching anything to do with Alberta will be fed your Alberta content, right?
Right.
Now, if you don't put that, then like that, you kind of lose that extra opportunity to reach that person. Yeah. So, and like hashtags, you used to be able to put like 30, and it was pretty crazy, but it really made social media look plugged up. Your posts look giant, and there's stuff with hashtags, and it made it look messy, I think.
Yep.
I always used to put my Instagram hashtags in my first comment, because it still worked, but it was in the comment, not on the base of the post.
Right.
And then that way it didn't look as messy. Facebook, now you can hashtag stuff. But remember, your hashtags, if you put all normal relevant words, and like some hashtags, like a whitetail deer, it's probably got 11 million.
Right.
Like it's a popular word, but it's not a good word to help people find you. Like if you put Alberta whitetail, there's going to be less people that hashtag the word Alberta whitetail, but the keyword of Alberta and whitetail together combined will kind of narrow it down to anyone searching anything to do with Alberta or whitetail deer or deer. Those 3 words are all in there, and it'll help them find you easier.
Right.
Yeah. If you narrow it down. It's good. And like hashtags, you don't want to put things like, hashtag truck, hashtag, gun, because that's a word that's out there a zillion times. If you want to promote your truck, you can hashtag Toyota Tundra, the actual brand or something to be able to narrow it down.
Yep. So it's important to have them, and people need to pay attention to what it's doing for them.
Yep. Yeah. And if you've never tried adding them, take the time to figure out and put some hashtags on your post. And if you're not sure, you could always use those programs like ChatGPT or other AI programs and say, I'm writing a post on spring bear hunting, and what are 10 good hashtags for spring bear hunting that will help reach more followers for me? And it'll spit out a bunch of them, and then you can pick some and go from there. Right.
You can actually copy and paste them, which makes it really easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Posts, I use them for a number of different things, either to educate people, entertain them, inspire them to get out there, or to provoke certain people. Like it's interesting to me that the best responses I get to my posts are a question.
Yep.
And I get the people responding to it that I would never dream that would engage social media, or, because I know them personally, but asking a question can be quite insightful.
Yeah, it's a great way to engage the person to engage on your platform, right? It doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you message the person back on the platform by answering the Facebook question, or just asking a question, or just congratulating the person or whatever, the more that the platform sees you, that you're interacting, the better brownie points the person who made the post gets, basically, because you're getting more interaction.
Right.
And people could make polls. For example, like on Instagram, you could do a poll. What do you guys feel about this and this? And you put a poll up, kind of thing. So you try to do things like that, because those are cool things that helps grow your page by doing that. But on your regular posts, doing those questions and asking people stuff is a great way to have them engage.
Yeah.
But do not do that and don't answer anybody. Like, don't do your post and fly away to Germany for 16 hours and not answer anybody for 16 hours, because you lose all the traction of it.
Yeah.
You want to do it where you can answer people within the hour if they start asking questions, because it'll just build more and more.
Yeah, it can become a full-time day's job. Like, you get a conversation going and other people get into it, and I've had some links that go on for 70 comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I always try to keep mine positive, and if someone gets out of line, I feel it's my duty as the person that put that post up is to set it straight. We don't allow that on the page, or you got to be respectful, or not comment, or delete them.
Yep. And I would just put that I would put that comment, please be respectful.
Yeah.
Or do not share your comment.
Yeah.
We will just ban you and block you. That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
You won't be following me anymore because I'll ban you and block you.
Yeah. So people don't need to worry about that. If you see something show up on your page that makes you uncomfortable, you should ban it or delete it or do something to make you feel more comfortable with your platform.
Yep. Yeah, you got to watch your platform too. Like, some of this stuff, like one thing that happened, I'll tell everyone that, I had hunting photo albums. And I kind of went way back on my Facebook on the computer, and I was looking at my shares. What is this share? Okay, share. It says your hunting photo album has been shared to the hunting band group.
Yeah, animal rights
activists of Brazil.
Yeah.
And they shared my photo album to their Facebook page, and there was 1,800 comments of people hating me on there. And all my different pictures had all this stuff popping up on it. And I was like, whoa. What's going on? And so, you really got to check your settings on your Facebook to make sure, what people can share and what can they share your photo albums? Can they copy what? People can always screenshot, but share the whole album to a page that doesn't like hunting or fishing.
Right.
And then have a whole group of people.
Community coming
after you, which is terrible, because then the algorithm for whatever sees that, and it'll lower your reach, right?
Right.
So you got to really make sure to tweak your stuff on your settings to make sure that, your photo albums aren't shareable.
Yeah. So there's lots of things where you want to make it accessible or not accessible. Do blind and deaf people use Instagram and social media platforms?
Yeah. So some people do, and where it actually, they have devices that can read the posts to them.
Yep.
So if you put a post up, it uses AI to describe the picture to you, but then it will read what you wrote down as your comment to them. So you can actually like make sure that you put the text in there that's another thing, put all the text for each picture. So if you have 5 pictures and you put a comment on the first picture, but you don't have any context to the rest of the pictures, you got to think there's other people out there that might be blind that can't see, that they're listening to it actually, which is something totally different. No one ever thinks about, like, oh, wow, really?
So you can actually do some closed captioning or something in the background as well?
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram, you could go in and you could edit your photos and put in captions on the photos. So then it would basically, and that's for specifically people that are blind, that can't see.
Right.
And it would read those captions to them.
Yeah, so if you've got family that have vision problems, or you want to try to grow an audience, because I'm sure when they find people that provide that type of information, they're more likely to follow you.
Yeah, and it's one more person that, this person's not doing it, but this person is, so it's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake people make with social media?
Well, one of the biggest ones is spilling their life problems is the biggest one, or else bad-mouthing a company or person and going after them that way. There's other more gentleman ways to do things.
Instead of a public forum.
Instead of a public forum and posting something derogatory towards somebody, because again, of course, it can just be screenshot and held against you. And if something down the line ever went to court and they have all the pictures of all your bad comments, well, guess what? Yeah, it's going to go sideways for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is one thing that every hunter and angler could do right now to improve their posts?
Well, if you haven't hashtag your posts, look up and do some hashtags on your posts.
Right.
Take a look at the pictures you're taking and take the extra effort to make the picture better. The better the photo, the more people will like it, share it, all the above, right?
Right.
And if the photo is, set up in a nice setting and, it's looking clean and you're not holding the fish upside down by his gills and you're holding him horizontal, supporting his belly so he's not hanging. You want to do those little things to make your posts better. And if you're a hunter or a fisherman and you're doing that stuff, that will, people give you respect for that you're taking the extra effort to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other advice? Like I said, you've been my go-to person for a lot of years when I'm looking for advice, or someone comes to me and says, hey, I've got this concern or this thing I want to grow, or these different things with social media. What other advice do you have, Darryl?
Well, your platform is one thing you got to decide on, because there's some platforms out there, like, for example, TikTok. TikTok is very biased against like harming animals, hunting, fishing, grip and grim photos. I've had posts taken down for a picture of me just holding a lake trout.
Yep.
And then, a second later I put it back in the water and it was gone. But I've had that taken down for cruelty to an animal, right? Which, okay, that's, people have their ways they think and stuff, but you really want to decide which kind of platform you want to go on to. So your platform is based on how you want to promote yourself. So Instagram is one of the ones that used to be one of the coolest for hunters and fishermen, but now that the algorithm has changed, you really got to tone it down on your posts, make them really great photos, make the text good, add the hashtags, take some effort when you do it, not just kind of huck it up and there you go.
Right.
Yeah, or make your videos better and don't make them 4 minutes long. People's attention span's short. And if you can get a message out there in 20 seconds, try to strive for something short.
Right.
Yeah.
And Facebook can be even more of a stickler in terms of hunting, fishing stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with their latest changes that they did, it's watching for all the stuff that we do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And there's no way to change that. And, I posted a picture of an emoji of, the emoji of somebody looking up in the air and scratching their chin on, like, in 2014. And it, like, banned me and did some block of something because of that. So it's, unfortunately, it's like an old girlfriend digging up the past on me. And what do you do? I can't do anything about it. It's
right.
Not like you can call them and complain. No, it's all automated. I think I talked to somebody at Facebook twice in like 14 years of dealing with Facebook
Right.
and doing stuff.
Good luck finding someone.
Where I actually have to call and talk to somebody, and there you go.
Yep.
Even one time, well, they had like a Facebook, like a meeting online, same kind of thing where you're on and I use that platform to ask them a bunch of questions about stuff. And they're like, well, that's not really our topic. But I'm like, hey, this is the only way I could talk to a live person that works at Meta.
Yep.
So sorry.
Interesting. Sorry, but not sorry.
It's a way to get at you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not answering any direct messages or anything. So, hey, sure, I'll come on your show and talk about stuff, but I'm going to ask you questions that you can give me answers on.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Good. Social media, I think it's fun. And like I said, I do it to entertain, inspire, lots of positive things within the hunting and fishing community. But I think every person has to take it upon themselves to sort of limit what they do too, because it can be a control in some people's lives that just isn't healthy. Yep.
Yeah. You gotta think some people out there are your fans,
right?
And I've had people talk to me, my friend Ed Tetley.
Yep.
He's like, Darryl, all these people are like commenting and messaging me. Yeah, that was a great post. Nice stove you built. Like he's like, who are these people? I'm like, those are your fans.
Yeah.
These are people that appreciate the things you do and the things that you post, and they appreciate that. So cater to them and keep doing it because you're doing it right. And, for someone like yourself, someone like me, where I'm out there just to do good and help people, company wise or personal wise or brand wise, if you want to lay out your platform so you look good, that's never a bad thing.
Right. So I'd like to encourage everyone to follow Harvest Your Own on social media channels. And Darryl, where can people find you?
Darryl Hunts West on Instagram. That main page will take you to my link tree, and my link tree links to all my socials of all kinds, from YouTube to TikTok to Snapchat to X to all the different ones. So it's a cool extra little thing there, Linktree.
Yeah, so that'll be our closing note. There's your last tip, is if you're big on social media, want to expand, want to grow, want to see more with it, want to do more with it, use Linktree. Yep.
Yeah, Linktree is a platform where you can make a free account and you can link all your socials to one spot. You can link your sponsors, your people, whatever website to Linktree, and people can find you there and then get to all your pages.
Right.
Instead of saying, oh, hey, follow me on YouTube and follow me on TikTok and follow me on this and follow me on that. Just too hard. So,
yep. One scan and you're in.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, thanks for your time today. And I know you've had to learn a lot of this yourself, but sharing that information hopefully is informative for people, helps them resolve problems, put up better posts, and just enjoy social media for what it is.
Yeah, we want people to grow and have fun doing it. Just make sure, keep it clean. Make us all look like rock stars out there,
Very good.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.